Come on, let's miss that 60% chance of rain, please. Well, I'm an idiot, or at the very least you would say our risky decision to go ahead and cut the hay this past weekend did not pay off. We caught a rain the night before last. Yeah, she's still really green and wet under there. As a result, I believe it would have bailed today, almost certainly, had it not caught that rain, but we did catch a rain. So anyway, it's still early this morning. We gotta wait for the dew to dry off. We may run a tedder through it, almost certainly run a tedder through it, maybe around midday. As you may can guess by looking at the truck, we got coolers loaded up, so we're headed to pick up some beef. Kind of our plan for the hay, I mean, as always, gonna be weather dependent. Sun, as you may can tell behind me, starting to come up. It's supposed to be really nice this morning, sun shining, before we have more chance of rain this afternoon. So, if the rain would hold off, I would at least entertain the possibility of potentially being able to rake and bale that hay late this afternoon. I think that's maybe a stretch even without the rain. I just don't know how much it's going to dry. It's gonna be in the mid 80s and sun shining, so we shall see. We appreciate y'all watching. Good time to remind you, so my coffee nearly spills. Give the video a thumbs up, that does help. We appreciate it. And yeah, I know you're probably already subscribed, but if you're not, click that button. Yeah, let's go get some beef. Okay, on our way to get that beef, we're going right past this farm, so we're gonna stop and check on these babies, give y'all a little feed. But yeah, one of the frustrating things with that rain, and it tends to be like that this time of year, you'll see down here, yeah, I mean, we caught a rain here, but it wasn't near as much as we did at home. And we're just, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 miles from the house as the crow flies. You go the other direction, it's like my dad's house, probably only a mile, maybe a mile and a half as the crow flies from our house. He got, I think, even less rain than we did here, so it's like it just had a bullseye on us. And I have talked to some people got even more than we did, but I mean, it's always a risky take. But anyway, I promise I won't harp on that the whole time. But yeah, get them fed. Our biggest issue maybe with getting that hay dry is there's more rain in the forecast. There's like a 60% chance this afternoon. So yeah, if it doesn't quit raining, then we won't ever get it dry. So that much we do know for sure. Okay, everyone here present and accounted for. So stepping commoner, which is to be expected, part of the job, one of the hazards of the job. Yeah, we're gonna head on up the road, get that beef picked up, get it back home, and then see what this weather's gonna do today. Made it back from getting our beef picked up, got it all put in the freezer. There's our Hereford cow that we're still waiting on to calve. She's a little tender on one back leg there. I don't know what she has done. That's something very recent. And she doesn't look any closer than she did a week ago. But anyway, she's making a big bag. Who knows, she may have it this afternoon. It's hot and it's humid right now. The sun's kind of trying to shine through. It's, I don't know, say partly cloudy. There's our black white face heifer. Clearly has not calved as we expected, so yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, I've never walked up this way, but there's actually an old road through the woods somewhere. Yeah, right there. One of the hay fields just right up there. We're this close. We'll just walk up through there and see what that hay looks like, see if the dew is just about dried off. This road's actually not in bad shape at all. I mean, you wouldn't come up and down it with a pickup unless you absolutely had to, but it's nice to know. Just never used it to access any of these fields. We don't have to, but as I'm walking up through here, you can smell the hay. It actually smells pretty decent. Color's not gonna be nearly as good as it could have been. But yeah, she's relatively dry here on top. Like that's, I mean, a little wet, it's not crunchy. Here's the problem. Pretty darn wet there underneath, starting to get a little yellow, you can probably appreciate. Does have a pretty decent smell. May not be quite as wet as I was thinking. Now's when I'm starting to get wishful, and I'm thinking, all right, now just maybe we get Tedder out here in the next little bit. A little thicker right there. But I don't know, you turn it over, let it lay there like that for 3 or 4 hours. Maybe, just maybe, we'd have a chance to get it up this evening. But again, the rain chance for this evening is what concerns me. Let's check the latest. Thunderstorms possible after 1 p.m. When you look at the hourly, it says about a 60% chance between like 2 to, well, really 2 p.m. till dark. Yeah, I think the only thing we can do is tether it, flip it over. It may all be for naught if it rains. Because if we tether it and then it rains on it again, it's not going to have hurt that we tethered it. It will hurt that it gets rained on. But then we're just gonna have to tether it again. Basically, tether just flips it over. So we're gonna, right now, relatively speaking, dry on top, really wet underneath. So we'll turn it over with the tether, let the underneath dry, and it's ready to bail. So yeah, it just could be a waste of an hour and a half or so of our time that it'll take us to tether it and that little bit of fuel. But that's all we can do is go for it, see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna take just a moment here to be a forage nerd, but when you got here, you see clover, but that's a real tall, kind of viney clover. It comes up well over past knee high on me. This one's starting to bloom. We got some others that are bloom, but this is a clover we planted out here a few years ago. Balansa clover. Of course, legumes, we talk about it all the time. One of the things they do is they fix nitrogen, and all your clovers will do it, whether it's, you know, crimson, red, white. But this particular species is supposed to be super at fixating nitrogen. You can see the little nodules there, the little nodes all over the roots. That is nitrogen. And I don't know, I'm probably not gonna take time to pull up, you know, some of the other species to compare, but like here, we got a bunch of white clover out here. But then, yeah, it's a bunch of white. I'll find an example of the Balansa out here that's really blooming for you. Because, you know, white clover, obviously, that is red clover, even though it's kind of a purple flower. We don't have much crimson at all here on this farm. We got a bunch on the Gilt Edge farm up the road. Much of the crimson, as far as the blooming, has already taken place. I don't know, probably kind of hit its peak a few weeks ago. Here's some over here. So now I want to find some of these. So yeah, there's one of those, and it's those flowers are pretty white, but you can see there's a little bit of a pink kind of hue to them, but it's just real viney as compared to some of your other clovers. That's gonna be knee high or so on me, where these others don't quite do that. But anyway, that's talking forages with Hurricane Creek Farms. Yeah, better example here, some mostly white, a little bit of red clover in there too. But yeah, all can be excellent forages, all excellent for putting nitrogen back in the ground. Well, we're tethering. It may turn out to be a waste of time, but it's actually probably a little lighter than I thought it would be, just in terms of it's not real heavy. The color is going to be probably a little lighter too. Just because we have lost some quality there, it's still a little yellow. And one thing that is glaringly apparent as we deal with this, we definitely just need to get that other tedder up and running. because I am going to need one, you know, my own to use anytime I need it. When we made it through last year, nice tick crawling on me. You know, really, actually, this farm we tethered it one time. Everything else we just were able to let it lay long enough. But my dad, they only have Bermuda grass hay, so they're still a month or so away from having any to cut. But as we get into their hay season, they're not going to be able to allow me to just come and grab their tedder anytime I need it. So need to get that other one up and running, and then we'll have one kind of at our disposal whenever we do need it. As we go past that little island of hay that I left there, that's where, if you watched our last video, where that turkey is nested. Good news, when we tethered this on Monday, she'd come back to the nest, so she'll continue to do that. You know, we might not have harmed anything by spooking her. We were just glad we didn't hit the nest, because I've had that happen before. Another little issue, I said, you know, this is about 10-12 acres of hay, 5 different little fields, so all the fields are surrounded by timber like this, so we deal with a lot of shade. And so, yeah, some of these parts of these fields don't get a whole lot of daylight or sunshine directly on them anyway. So I know I'm way over analyzing this drying process as I try to do the math and figuring in calculations in my head of the likelihood that it'll be dry enough to do anything with it today. But it's just another factor we're kind of fighting against, and you can definitely tell a huge difference over here in these shadier areas of these narrow necks. It's still way too wet. Then you get out in parts of the field that get kind of full sunlight, and it really looks, you know, well, like there's a chance it'll be dry enough. So, yeah, probably just way over analyzing it, like I say, but 1,000 little factors that figure into every little thing. Really starting to get my hopes up this one's going to bail today. Of course, you can see hadn't tethered, have tethered, and it's crunchy even there on top. Naturally, a little wet there below, but that sun is bearing down right now. It's all going to depend on us not getting any rain this afternoon. Otherwise, I mean, there's no chance. And there's some green spots, but of course that's there on top now. You know, if it could lay there, it's now 11 o'clock. If it could lay here till 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon before we start raking it. So I'm gonna be heartbroken for the second time this week if we do catch this next rain, but it's fluffing up real nicely. It's just lighter, and y'all probably can't hear that, but there's some rattle to it. Definitely gonna need to lay here for a few hours, but come on, let's miss that 60% chance of rain, please, for at least until 7, 8 o'clock tonight. I know it's gonna be harder for you all to appreciate it, but these last 2 fields that we tethered are significantly drier. And looking at like the field entrances and whatnot, the mud created by the rain, I think it's simply, it just didn't rain quite as much over here, even though we're maybe, you know, roughly about a half mile as crow flies from the first 3 fields. But it just, now it ain't just bone dry, but it is drier. I think we let it lay here maybe even just a couple hours. That's a real green spot there, but it is hot. The sun is bearing down. I mean, it's still gonna come down to we can't afford to have a rain this afternoon, but I believe this is gonna bail, and I did not necessarily think that was gonna be the case just a short little while ago. So yeah, that's the way these showers are this time of year. I mean, I know people, well, my dad, for instance, got 2 tents. I don't know how much I got because my gauge being broken, but I figured I got at least a ½ inch. I talked to people that had hail, and again, right here in the county, not too far from us, so it was just highly variable what these storms produced, depending on where exactly you were. But we're gonna fold it up. We've got to grease the rake, unhook from this, grease the baler, hook up to the baler. It is noon exactly. By the time we get all that done, it's gonna be 1:30 anyway. 2 fields over here on this side of the farm. I think we'll be able to start raking it and go from there. Don't know if the microphone will pick it up, but that is thunder, and that is not a good thing for us. But it's clouding up, some storms off to our west and to our south. Looking at the radar, it's actually coming this way, kind of out of the southeast. So what's already off to our west may not be a problem. It may be what's more back this direction. So got the rake greased. We're gonna work on getting the baler greased and serviced. We got to put the monitor in the tractor and just kind of take our time doing those things, because if it's gonna rain, this is all a waste. Anyway, we certainly don't want to have the hay raked up in windrows, then it get wet. We want, anything we get into a windrow, we have to feel very confident we're gonna get through the baler too. So definitely not a good idea to just head out and start raking right now. We need to see if these little pop-up storms are gonna miss us. And if kind of these few will kind of dissipate or just go around us, then we may get headed to the field here in the next hour or so. But right now, yeah, we're gonna hold tight. Well, that's probably gonna be a wrap on any chance we had at baling any hay today. It just frustrates us. Better cut off the radio before I get a copyright violation. But yeah, it's just frustrating, and you shouldn't get too frustrated with it, because one, we cut that hay knowing there was all kinds of rain chances in the forecast, and two, we can't do anything about it. But it is like some tiny little cells on the radar right now. It's just like it's not raining just up the road. Like, I mean, according to the radar, and may not. So anyway, which it hadn't rained much yet, but looking at the radar, it looks like it's building, and over the next 20-30 minutes, we're probably gonna get a good shower, so we'll see. Yeah, there she comes. Such a disappointment. So, I guess we'll keep on greasing the baler. I got about half greased, and I realized I was supposed to put the horses up. Yeah, no sense in having a half greased baler. We'll go ahead and get the rest of it greased, because there'll be a day sometime, hopefully this month, that hay will be dry enough to bale. But I'm glad we don't have it hooked up yet, because we're probably gonna be hooking back onto the tedder and tethering it for what'll be a third time before we're gonna get it baled. Thank God I don't have any hair to pull out, or I would be pulling it out. So, but anyway, can't do anything about it. All you can do is smile and laugh. It rained there for like 2 minutes. It quit. I was like, oh yeah. There's the nail in the coffin for this day. Well, well, well. That's even a little bit of hail. Yeah. Well, I am glad, we're trying to be glass half full, that we didn't get started raking when this happened. Because then what we would have probably had to do is wait a day or two till it dried a little bit, then run the tedder back over it to knock it out of those windrows, let it lay for another day, 2 maybe. Oh yeah. Look at the hail. Oh, buddy. Wow. Yeah, we were gonna try to bale hay in this. business. You know, we had a tornado barely a month ago. I might ought to see some shelter. Smokey has the right idea. Good day to just lay down and take a nap. In reality, if the weather let up enough, I'm already pretty wet, it's blowing in here. I'll back the tractor back under here. This is supposed to rain the next few days too. No sense in it continuing to sit out in this. Go ahead and put the bale monitor in it. Yeah. I was beginning to convince myself that, you know what, that hay wasn't too badly hurt by that rain the other night. We got it dry by today, which I thought was a long shot, but it was gonna be dry enough to bale. Oh, we were gonna need this to hold off for another 4 or 5 hours. By late this afternoon, I think we could have safely gotten it up. Probably wouldn't have been any hay we would have put in the barn, just because one, it wouldn't have been top quality. Two, potentially with a little higher moisture, wouldn't have wanted it to get hot and potentially catch on fire. But still would have been decent hay. Now I'm not sure. It may not end up being good enough to do much more than, fill gullies up with it. It's used for construction hay. So yeah, anybody in the immediate Tipton County area needs any brown rolls of hay for construction purposes, hey, I might have some you can get pretty cheap. But anyway, the rest of the day is kind of a washout. It's still a tiny cell. I was going to try to show it to you on my phone, but y'all know what those pop-up cells look like. Like, the other side of the county, it's not raining. It's raining everywhere in this general area now. But yeah, I may just go ahead and end this video because I don't know what else we're going to be getting done today other than some basic maintenance. Nothing too exciting. Yeah, check back with us for the next one. I don't know that we'll be baling any hay. Let's try it again. I don't know that we'll be baling any hay in the next one because I don't know when it's going to quit raining and how long it'll even take to get that hay dry. But yeah, let's all take some motivation from Smokey. Take a nap here on a rainy day. Y'all eat beef and God bless.